Alright, so this intercooler fitment is actually going pretty well. I was able to notch the grill ever so slightly, so it does fit around the intercooler as it sits. So what I ended up doing as a mounting tab, for the bottom at least, let me put this down. I have a piece of 1.5" by 1.5" angle, 1/8 inch thick, and what I did was I cut it just a little bit longer than the actual frame rails. I think the frame rails inside is like 26 1/8 or so. So I believe I cut it at like 29 inches, thereabouts. And what I did was I notched the ends of it so it actually sits down on the top of the frame. It's got a little play, but I got a hot glue gun that's gonna fix a little gap. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll go ahead and mount this to the bottom of the intercooler using the threaded holes that come on it. I'm sure they're metric to some degree, but regardless, I'll use those standoffs. There's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and that way the intercooler can stand up by itself off the frame rails, and then I'll make some sort of bracket to go across the top of it, maybe to connect back to the brace or the core support or something in that nature to hold the top of it. I just figured I'd just give you an update of where I'm at on it. Alright guys, so what I'm doing here is I sort of marked where the grill is hitting the intercooler. I have it standing upright in front of the 40K transcooler. I think I'll have enough clearance. I just have to give a little bit of gap between the grill shell and the front of the intercooler. So what I've done is I just took a straight edge, clamped it on, and basically you can see from this area here where I'm going to notch it. I have to notch this spar and maybe a few other ones. It's just a little bit, just so these clips can actually retain back into the core support. So I do apologize. I feel like all I can hear in my head is my high school math teacher telling me to show my work. Problem is, I'm one guy, and the other problem is I can't find the tripod. So I'm just going to do it in a few segments here, and you guys can sort of see what I've done. So the upper intercooler mounts were made out of stainless steel. I think it's 3/8 solid rod. I just rolled it over a bottle, made a couple of tabs out of some, I think it's like 18 gauge or 16 gauge stainless, TIG welded them to it. Actually mounts to the points in which the 40K cooler mount to, and then the lower ones, busted out the hot glue gun and then welded that piece of angle to the frame rails across the front here. Intercooler fits like a champ. Pretty happy with the results. And for a side note, the standard LS engine bolt, I think these came from a rear main seal cover. They were just a little long. Trimmed like maybe 3/8 of an inch off of them, and they thread perfectly into those intercoolers. So you guys probably have a ton of these laying around your shop. They fit the intercooler.